Kartikeya, to you first. Atikur Rahman is saying, Kartikeya, that this law is discriminatory. For the first time, religion is used as a ground of discrimination in the country, and that's why it's bad. Bad in law.
I mean, Abhishek, there is so much Supreme Court jurisprudence that explicitly allows differential treatment if there is a rational and fair basis for it. I mean, this is a given. We don't even have to debate this. Minority scholarships, for example, have been upheld by the high courts, the Gujarat High Court, and also Supreme Court hasn't ruled against it. What is minority scholarships? It effectively gives scholarship to poor students only belonging to minority religions. So that is not a problem for people opposing this, but this is Abhishek. I just want to make one quick point. They hate Modi more than they love India, if at all they do. That is the problem. See, if Modi brings a law, they say, "Oh, ye to hamara law tha. Ye to Congress ka law tha." And then Modi implements it, then they have a problem with it. Like Aadhaar, for example. Aadhaar was in a sense a Congress baby. But Modi started implementing it very, very efficiently. So now they have a problem with that. That, oh no, this is invasion of privacy and this and that. If CAA was not implemented, the rules were not notified, they kept taunting that, Arey, kya ho raha hai? What is happening with the CAA? Why are they not doing it? Then someone says they're going to do it, they have a problem with that. So the bottom line is that, and by the way, this granting citizenship to Hindus and Sikhs fleeing Pakistan did not start with CAA. The idea did not start with CAA. There are umpteen notifications where the government of India during UPA time actually gave arbitrary citizenship to refugees who had fled Pakistan, and who, in fact, in my home state of Gujarat, there were so many Hindus from Pakistan who were given citizenship. So at that time it was okay because it was arbitrary. And now Modi government wants to codify the law and have proper parameters for it so that it's not arbitrary. They have a problem with it, call it discriminatory. So I think this is just double-speak hypocrisy. And essentially, I'll say once again, they hate Modi more than they love India.
Yeah, it's absolutely double-speak, and that's why I want to sort it out, You mentioned the aspect of minority scholarships. There is obviously discrimination of two types. A positive discrimination, which is needed many times, like we do in the case of reservations. And then there is negative discrimination, as we are doing in this case, because we know.
Abhishek, if I may add,
minorities
just 10 seconds. The CAA grants positive discrimination in favor of them. It does not render anyone worse off. So, for example, if a Muslim Ahmadi from Pakistan is fleeing persecution, the refugee law of India still stands. It still protects him. It's only that in CAA case, there is a presumption of persecution, and that's why they don't have to prove persecution, and that's why they're granted this fast-track privilege. Otherwise, no one is rendered any worse off. So sorry for taking.
Okay, Sanju, I will come to you, but I have to get Bilal, Sabjwari also involved. Sanju, I will come to you with a structured set of questions that have come out of the comments made by those opposing this. So just give me some time so that I can get Bilal also into this conversation, and it's important that everyone is involved. Bilal, just adding to what Kartikeya was saying, again, I'm just adding some numbers and facts. Then you give your perspective. The decline in Bangladesh, for example, of the Hindu population, which stood at 1951, at that time, East Pakistan at 22%, was in 1981, after the formation of Bangladesh, still about 12.1%. Came down to 10.5% in 1991, 9.2% in 2001, and in 2011, I don't have the data for 2021 if they have done a census, but in 2011 census, it was 8.5%. So obviously from 22% to 8.5% is a steady decline. Unlike the minorities in India, at the time of independence in the 1941 census, I will exclude that, let's start with 1951 census. If the Hindus were at about 88%, today they stand at 82%. So the majority of the country has actually come down. The minorities have increased their share. So who is getting persecuted? The minorities in these countries, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Afghanistan. And that's why we want them in. We want to protect them, to give them a way so that they can, to save their lives, to save their dignity. They have an option. What's wrong with that, Bilal?
See, I'm not sure whether you are hearing me properly, because the sound from your side is quite weak. See, my point is that rather going into this debate, who is persecuted or who is not, and what is the status of the minorities in Pakistan or Bangladesh and or in other neighbor countries. See, being a journalist, the point is that okay, I am trying to trace the strategy of the Bharatiya Janata Party nearby the election time, why he raised this issue. I rather than speaking on that point, I would like to speak on this point. See, the election of the Lok Sabha is quite close, and only hardly 2 or 3 months are left. So at this point, the Bharatiya Janata Party and the strategy makers, as well as the Unionist Minister Shantanu Thakur, is speaking in Bangladesh, is trying to provoke the Mamata Banerjee in order to have
Bengal, not
a
Bangladesh.
clear-cut bipolar division
Yeah,
among
Bengal.
them.
Was it a Freudian
The
slip? Was
Bharatiya
it a
Janata
Freudian
Party
slip?
is trying to get the majority into their fold and trying to isolate the Mamata Banerjee by raising.
Okay, I
this,
understood what you're saying. It's an
specific
attempt to polarize
this issue.
So
May I-
See, my
now,
point
now,
is that,
now, can I go to
Shantanu
Sanju?
Bhattacharya
Bilal, I got a
said,
point. You're saying this is
within a 7
polarization
days,
attempt. This
he
is
will
timed with elections
implement the
so that the
government of India
BJP
will
can
implement
benefit from the
this
sentiment.
bill in the nation. So I think this will boost up and give acceleration to get the majority of member of parliament what BJP is expecting at this time. So I think this is the
Okay,
strategical
understood. Sanju
position
Verma,
of the
now let me
Bharatiya
structure
Janata
this.
Party.
Between
And this
what
time,
Atikur
we'll have
Rahman
to
has
think
said,
whether
between
the
what
Mamata
Syed
Banerjee
Asad Abbas has
gets
said,
trapped into
between
this,
what Bilal
in this
Sarwari has
fold,
said,
this is the
Sabjwari
issue
has
of
said,
debate.
sorry. Okay, Bilal Saab. Okay, Bilal Saab. I'm just structuring what the three of you have said on opposing CAA, and I'm directing it to Sanju Verma. Sanju Verma, number one, that this is discriminatory. And if I could just add, the problem perhaps is with the wording. So, for example, in Afghanistan, just as Sikhs, so also Hazaras are persecuted, maybe not to the scale of Sikhs, who are completely exterminated. You think the wording could have been a little more nuanced, number one. Number two, again, as Bilal says, that this is attempt at polarizing just ahead of elections. So you get to respond now.
Okay, thank you, Abhishek. I heard everybody, and I always say that the devil is in the detail, and I don't engage in rhetoric like many do. I will quote ad verbatim and it will take me 20 seconds, but for the benefit of your viewers, this is exactly what the CAA, this is the crux of what the Act says. It says in exercise of powers conferred upon Section 16 of the CAA 1955, the central government hereby directs that powers exercisable by it for registration as citizen of India under Section 5 or for grant of certificate of naturalization under Section 6 of the Citizenship Act of 1955 in respect of any person belonging to minority community in Afghanistan, Bangladesh and Pakistan, namely Hindu, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis and Christians, residing in the districts mentioned and the states mentioned below, will be given citizenship with a cut-off date from 31st December 2014. So point number one, people don't realize this is not exactly a new law. This is a very valid and vital amendment to what already exists by way of CAA 1955. And when you say this is illegal, let me remind you, on the 9th of December 2019, CAA was passed by 311 to 180 votes in favor. And on December 11th, 2019, it was passed by 125 to 105 votes in the Rajya Sabha. So when India's parliament passes with a thumping majority an act, the rules of which shall be notified very soon, and you sit here and wax eloquent about how it is illegal, unconstitutional, you need to have a reality check. That's my point number one. And very quickly, my point number two. Can I just finish my point number two? Can I just finish my point number two? Abhishek, people who say that, why not Hazaras, why not Ahmedias, why not Boras? There are already 52, 56 or 57 Islamic
And I would add, why not Tibet? Why not Sri Lanka?
52, 56
why not Myanmar?
or 57. Can I just finish? 52, 56 or 57 Islamic nations, I don't care. You know, why is it that none of these Islamic nations have ever bothered to take in Rohingyas who were being butchered in Myanmar, Rohingyas who were left homeless in Bangladesh? आप यहाँ बैठकर discrimination की बात करते हो?
Because you are communal,
India
they are
is
not
so
communal. They want to
discriminatory. Why
select
do you
secular
want
India,
Rohingyas to
not
settle
communal
in India?
Pakistan.
Why do you want
I'll come to you. Anirban, I'll come to you. Hold on.
In a country
Let
like
Sanju
India,
finish.
if you think India is discriminatory, इसका जवाब दो. Why do you want Rohingyas to settle in India?